Chapter 3. Meet the Dungeon Master. Mox floated through the dimly lit tunnels of the dungeon, his gelatinous body rippling with anxiety. Shadows danced along the stone walls, illuminated by patches of bioluminescent fungus that cast an eerie green glow. The air was damp and thick, filled with the earthy scent of moss and the faint, musty aroma of decay. He could hear the distant trickle of water and the echoes of his own movements. Squelch, 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 each sound magnified by the stillness. Focus, focus, Mox repeated, though he wasn't quite sure what to focus on. His mind was still a jumbled mess of desperation and confusion, and the knowledge that he had an insurmountable debt weighing on him was maddening. The question nagged at him. How was a simple slime like him supposed to repay it? Drawing in a breath, if slimes could breathe, he felt the familiar tug of ambition surging through him, spurred by an urge to find the one who had given him existence in the first place. He had a master, after all, and that master had needs of their own. With each pulse of slime, Mox pressed forward, traversing the endless caverns with a determined mindset. "I have to meet the Dungeon Master," he said, the thought crystallizing into a solid goal. "If I'm going to figure this whole thing out, it's got to start with them." After what felt like hours of squishing through the twisting passages, he finally arrived at an enormous chamber, illuminated by shimmering crystals embedded in the walls. The ceiling arched high above him, vanishing into darkness that seemed to swirl in on itself. In the center of the room, a grand obsidian throne loomed, encrusted with emeralds and surrounded by a swirling mist. On the throne sat a figure draped in shadows, an ethereal aura exuding from them. Mox couldn't make out any features at first, only the vague outline of a humanoid form with shimmering dark wings spread out behind them. As he approached hesitantly, he could feel a surge of magic in the air, a force that both frightened and fascinated him. "Welcome, little slime," they said, their voice smooth and melodic, echoing like a whisper in the wind. "I am Elysia, the Dungeon Master. I trust you've awakened from your rookie slumber." "Yes, hello, Mistress Elysia." Mox stammered, his shape quivering as he struggled to hold himself together under her gaze. I'm Mox. I owe you a debt." Elysia leaned forward, the shadows swirling around her like a dark cloak. "Indeed, but not merely a debt of gold or gems," she explained, her eyes glinting like distant stars. "Your debt intertwines with your very essence. In every ooze and squish, it shall manifest until you fulfill your purpose within my dungeon." Mox shivered, the thought heavy in his head. "What is my purpose? How did I even get here?" Elysia chuckled softly, an amused sound that seemed to reverberate through the chamber. "You are a low-tier slime, a creature of lesser renown, created to aid my dungeons in their duties, digestion, regeneration, and a lowly form of defense. However, your presence signifies both opportunity and risk. I've invested in you, and you must now repay that investment." "Investment? You mean you created me?" Mox pushed, struggling to articulate the whirlwind of emotions bouncing about his gelatinous mind. "Yes," she confirmed, her tone shifting from whimsical to serious. "You were born from the mystical energies that flow through this dungeon, crafted to serve as a vessel of Rezil. You shall summon creatures to aid you, shape your dungeon environment, and engage in battles that will refine your form. But be wary, for the risks are high and the consequences even higher. Defeat could mean permanent dissolution." A chill ran through Mox as the grim implications of her words sank in. "What about the monsters and adventurers? How do I interact with them? I'm just a slime." "Every creature within my dungeon plays a part," she replied, brows lifting. "Some will seek glory, seeking treasures and fame. Others will come hunting, thinking themselves capable of conquering a lowly slime. And then there are the creatures you'll summon to defend your territory." "But how do I summon them?" Elysia's essence shifted subtly, her figure reflecting the complexity of the dungeon she ruled. "A simple procedure, almost instinctual. Concentrate on the essence of the creatures you desire, connect with the energies around you, and visualize your intention. Yet remember, each summon requires resources, a transaction of sorts. You will have to manage your stock, lest you stir the ire of another." Mox's mind raced with the possibilities he never imagined existed. His existence now had weight, momentum. Maybe, he thought, he could change his destiny. "So, how do I start?" Mox asked, a bubbling enthusiasm rising within him. First, you must make yourself known, Elysia instructed, her voice low and powerful. You'll need to venture out and attract adventurers. They are your potential allies and your inevitable challengers. Use the organic resources around you. Find gemstones, harvest plants, or even experiment with the ingredients that concoct your slime form. Demonstrate your abilities to the world and do not shy away from exuding your presence. Mox bristled with excitement, a tremor running through his semi-translucent body. I can do that, but what if they don't like slimes? What if they attack me? Then you learn. Every encounter shapes your evolution, Elysia said, her tone encouraging. They may see you as a mere spawn to crush at first, yet you might surprise them. Embrace your slime nature, adapt, and they may come to respect you as a threat or an ally. Just ensure you've stocked up on treasures, for they will expect rewards even when you triumph. Mox felt renewed determination. His path was set, his role defined. Thank you, Elysia. I won't let you down. I'll start right away. Be cautious, Mox, she reminded him, a shadow veiling her form. The world is not devoid of danger, even for a tenacious slime. You shall find new friends and ferocious foes. But remember, your essence and power will depend on your choices, so tread wisely, for every move counts toward your debt. Family, strategy, cunning, that is the essence of repayment. Right, Mox quipped, brimming with eagerness. I'll be careful, I promise. And I'll repay you. With the instructions ringing in his mind, Mox couldn't help but exude a wave of determination. He had a purpose, and it shimmered with opportunities beyond mere existence. As he exited the chamber, he felt lighter despite the debt looming overhead, a debt of existence that would turn into a newfound destiny. Finding his way to the outskirts of the dungeon, Mox observed the vibrant world around him. Vines twisted around rocks, and he could sense creatures flitting through the dense shadows. This was a place of possibility. All right, Mox, he encouraged himself. Time to make my presence right. Absorbing the rough green moss, he experimented, letting the energies flow through him as he concentrated on shaping his body. He felt a surge of inspiration as he considered the possibilities, imagining the impact each summon or absorption could have. Let's see what happens when I interact with the creatures here, he muttered excitedly, pushing onward into the unknown. In the shadows, two figures observed him, an elf with sharp features and a hulking orc. Their eyes glimmered with curiosity and intrigue. They exchanged glances, whispers fluttering between them. Did you see that slime? It looks like it's up to something, the elf said, gripping her bow tighter. Looks weak, but you never know, the orc replied, his voice low and gravelly. Let's not underestimate it. We should follow. Unbeknownst to Mox, the stage was set. As he moved through the daunting expanse of the dungeon, his first encounters were just ahead. Little did he know that the dangers he was about to face would challenge his very essence, forcing him to grow and adapt in ways he could never predict. His fate as a slime was starting to unfold, and Mox was determined to shape his own destiny, even as he sought to repay his insurmountable debt. Thus, Chapter 3 sets Mox on a path of discovery, filled with potential allies and unforeseen dangers, as he embraces his new life as a dungeon slime tasked with navigating a world rich in magic and mutation.